Hi everyone, my name's Michelle and I'm MamaLovesYou GB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram as well. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing. It is FlossTube number 43, I think, and tomorrow is going to be the 15th of August. I'm a little bit flustered because I've just spent the last hour packing for a trip that we're going on that I didn't know 2 hours ago that we were going on. So Chris literally came home and he said that in Bristol tomorrow there's a band called Andy and the Odd Socks playing, and it's literally Ness's favourite band. So we are going to Bristol tomorrow to see Andy and the Odd Socks. So we're driving to the Cotswolds tonight. In fact, Chris and Ness have already gone, and then I'm going down as soon as I finish this. So anyway, all of this will be by the by for tomorrow morning because we will already be there. I'm then staying down in the Cotswolds with Ness for a little bit longer because obviously on Saturday it's the Patchwork Rabbit Open Day, so I can't wait to meet everybody that's going to the Patchwork Rabbit Open Day, and I'm super excited. Partly to get my hands on some of the haul because I've been making a few orders and just saying add it to my pile, I'll pick it up on Saturday, so there's going to be a few things there. Right, I've got lots and lots of things to show you. I'm going to do it slightly back to front because the main thing I've got to show you is 11 fully finished objects. So yeah, 11 fully finished objects. If you've been following me on Instagram, I've shown a few of them already, but I've got a few that I haven't shown. So please hang around for those. So I'm going to start off with, I don't know, let's start off with the Great Floss Drop Trade. So I received my first set of cards, and this is from Stitchy Rage in down in Kent. So she sent me those. I've got all mine ready to send. I've just packed them in the car ready to send. I had to buy some new envelopes, but other than that I'm good to go. And she did the little sender's card as well, which is really nice to include. So yeah, hers is Anne Boleyn, which is a portrait that is down in Kent her way. And for those of you wondering, and I had these questions before, this, I've just put it on, is called a book ring. So if you're looking to buy some of these, they're called book rings. And the ones that I particularly like are the 2-inch ones. In fact, I bought some from Amazon. In fact, I think I bought 2 packs from Amazon. So plenty of those. And I've seen lots and lots of really nice cards on the hashtag the Great Floss Drop Trade. So if you've made some and you want to swap some, then please put your cards under that hashtag. But just be aware, if you've got a private Instagram account, then they won't show to anybody other than your followers. So if you have made some and you have your account set to private, then obviously you'll have to contact people individually if you want to swap with them. Right, what else have I got? So there's that. Couple of finishes. I do have a couple of finishes and one whip that I've been working on. So my first finish is just a really small one. I hadn't even started it last week. This is by, or had I started it last week? I can't remember. This is by Primitive Acorn, and this is my finish. It was one of the ones that I got for my birthday. So I will, if you want to know what the chart's called, it's by Primitive Acorns. I will try and link it below, but just bear in mind I won't be able to do any show notes until at least Sunday evening. So if you're looking for any show notes for this, they won't be there for a good 12 hours, maybe 24 hours, depends on when I get around to it. So it's stitched on a piece of XG Designs 32 count elixir, and I really like it. I'm going to make it into a little pillow, I think. I'll make it into a little pillow. The other thing that I finished shouldn't be any great surprise because I only had, I think, about less than 30 stitches to put on it. And this is my bee by Pyro Dog Pins on Etsy, and again I'll put their information below henceforth. And all finished off. So it's got 2 legs the same length now, which is always nice, and I finished off all those other little stitches. I know how I'm going to finish it, and I have even bought the fabric to finish it, so I'll show you that in my haul. And the other thing that I've been working on is, I've got the front cover of it handy, yeah, is this. It's the Halloween Ouija by Tiny Modernist, which was a stitch along for last year. And I've just slowly been plugging away at the black. So I've got a little bit more done in the main house. Now there is an error in there somewhere, and I don't know where it is, and I'm not that fussed on finding it either. I'll just work around it. So yeah, hoping to get that one finished. And like I said, I do want to get that finished before I start the cryptid sew. And if that means I have to do the border at the same time as the releases, then that's what I'll have to do. Right, so put that to one side because I want to take that one with me. That is it for everything I've stitched on this week, because as I said, the main thing I've been doing is my finishing, so I can't wait to show you those. I'm going to do my freebie. I'm going to do my freebie now. Slow down, Michelle, slow down. I feel I'm rushing because I know I'm trying to get finished, but I don't need to rush. I've got an empty house. I've got an empty house. I don't need to rush. This one, Teresa Kogut. How lovely is that design? Kindness is free, and so is this chart. I will put the link to it down below. It is stitched using DMCs, and if you're stitching it on, let's go for 32 count, it's going to be just over 5 inches by just over 4 inches, so it's not massive, but I really like that dress. I really like the look of that dress. Really nice. It reminds me, actually, with the right colouring, if that was black and grey, you could almost turn her into a little Welsh lady with the shawl and the skirt and the pinafore. So yeah, I love that. I will put the link to that down below. So thank you so much to Teresa for that, because we all love a freebie. Right, now another freebie. Now, I was absolutely blown away by this. I was contacted by, and I'm going to call her Cat Craft Co. She has given me, obviously, her real name, but I don't know if she wants that to be shared. And she's come up with a free stitch for you in honour of me, which is crazy. It just blows my mind. And it's called Cross Stitch Cult. And there it is. She actually tells you in the instructions, which are super comprehensive. Let me see if I can show you how to dye the fabric using Dynaflow paints. And she says that you can use my tutorial to help you. And that's a close-up there of the chart. And what it actually says along the bottom is helping stitchers over their fear of dyeing since 2020. Now, for those of you that don't know, when I did my first dyeing video, I got lots and lots of comments where people hadn't quite spelt dyeing correctly. And I was quite sure that YouTube were going to take my video down because people were thinking that I was assisting them with their dyeing and that they were getting over their fear of dyeing. So she's done a lovely little play on words, which I don't know if you can see at the bottom. She's put fear of dyeing, and then she's added the extra E so that we know that it's not as in dying. So that's super amazing. So she said that I can share this chart with you. So I'll put the link for that chart down below if you would like to stitch it. As I said, give me a few hours this time. It's not going to be there straight away. I'm going to be too busy bopping in a field to undo the old socks. Who are actually quite good. If you, as far as children's bands go, they are actually quite good. Right, what else have I got? I'm going to sort of go into a little bit of, I don't know, let's do this next. Let's do a giveaway next. Let's do a giveaway. Now, you might remember last week that I showed you all these lovely charts that Lynn had kindly sent to me to give away. So I'm going to do 4 giveaways because I also reached 8,000 subscribers, which literally blows my mind, because my 1-year FlossTube anniversary is on the 24th of August. I looked it up. I think it's on the 24th of August. So not next weekend, but the weekend after will be my full first year of FlossTube. And to have 8,000 subscribers literally blows my mind. If I'd had 80 subscribers in the first year, I'd have been cock-a-hoop. So, because these are all paper charts, I'm going to say just for the UK for these ones, and then I've got another giveaway which could be for anybody. So just for the UK for these ones. So if you want to enter for any of these, and remember we're thanking Lynn for these charts, but I'll get them posted out to you. There's this one, and if you want to enter for this one, if you can use the keyword moon, just pop that in your comments somewhere. This one, which is by Cherished Stitches, a Quaker Halloween sampler. If you want to enter for this one, if you can use the word Quaker. Then this one, I love this one, absolutely love this one. This is by Carriage House Samplings. It's called Matter's Choice. So if you could use the word choice, if you want to enter for this one. And then lastly, this one by Rosewood Manor, which is the Cornwall Cottage sampler. So if you can use the word cottage. So remember, you've got to be over 18. Don't use the words giveaway, freebie, things like that. I want them to go to people who are actually going to stitch them, who are actually cross stitchers. And as I said, if you can be UK resident or at least have a UK address. If you're overseas and you've got somebody in the UK who will post these on for you, then crack on, absolutely fine. But I'm going to post into the UK. So just to recap, moon for that one, Quaker for that one, choice for that one, and what did I say for that one? Cottage. Cottage for that one. And I have another giveaway. Now, some of you, again, who follow me on Instagram will have seen that I've been going completely gaga over a new, to me, designer that I found on Etsy. She goes by the name of, oh, how silly, I've cut her off. I'll put the name across the bottom, MamaWitchCrossStitch. Sorry, complete brain fade then. And I've been going absolutely gaga over these charts. Now I bought this one, which is Halloween Gang. Now, one thing I'll just have to say is when I've printed mine out, the way she sets out her page is there's a lovely black border around the outside. Now I haven't got that much black left in my ink, so I rescaled mine to cut the black off. So when you get them, they've got a nice black border and they look all fancy. So mine are a little bit cropped. So I bought this one. I just love that Halloween Gang. That's a perfect word for them. And I messaged the designer, whose name's Katherine, and said that I was absolutely in love with her designs and how fantastic they were. And I said I was going to share them. And after a few days, I think there was quite a few sales went through, so she messaged me back and she said, thank you for sharing it. It's really helped my small Etsy shop. Please, would you like to choose another chart for yourself and one for a friend? So I chose this one for myself, which is Pumpkin Gardener. And you guys are all my friends. you're all my friends. So I said to Katherine, what I'd like to do is a giveaway. So you will be able to choose one of the Halloween charts and have it emailed to you as a PDF. So I'll have put the other pictures up. There's 3 other Halloween charts. She's got loads and loads of other designs, but I've been looking particularly at the Halloween ones because my brain just, it doesn't take much to just go, oh, Halloween mode. So you'll be able to choose one of the 5 Halloween charts and have it emailed directly to you. So all you need to do if you want to enter that one is to use the word Halloween. So 4 paper copies of charts that you have to be in the UK for, and 1 giveaway for a chart that can go anywhere. So if you want to enter for that one, then you're more than welcome. But I can't wait to get started on these. I've already put my order in for the DMC for these, and actually I don't know if the same is true for the other 3, but when I was putting the DMC together for these, there's a lot of common colours, so it's not been a big jump, if you like, to get the DMC for both of these, because lots of them are shared. So I can't wait. I really can't wait to stitch those. They are lovely. Right. I'm going to do haul, and then I'm going to do finishes all at the end. So I hope you'll stick around for the finishes. Very, very quickly, I picked up from Facebook some Fiberlicious threads that I've never tried before. So that one's called Moonlit Water, and this one is called Siren Song, and there's 2 skeins of each. I also picked up Wee Santa, which I love. Can't wait to do that. This is from eBay, from Jeff P. Smith. Harvest Time, because I'm doing a lot of Halloween stuff, but I want to do some fall things as well. So Harvest Time. I also picked up Marianne Blackbird by Blackbird Designs, by all the Blackbird. Some beautiful ones in here, beautiful ones. I really just like that little bird actually. But obviously the main sampler is beautiful. Have we got a picture? Oh, that one. That's, there we go, there's the antique. So those big tulips are absolutely gorgeous, and that kind of like turkey-like bird in the middle. I love. And I also love that box top as well. So I can't wait to do that. And then some fabric. Now, you're going to see some of this fabric a bit later on. I went to, last weekend, Evesham Country Park. I don't know if any of you know it. There is a needlework shop there. And so I picked up some bee-related fat quarters. It's called Cotswold Needlecraft. So I picked up that one, which has just got various bee words on it. That one, which has got bees on it, but the label's in the way. That's a Halloween one. That one, again, which, there we go. It's got some bees on it. Just a plain black, but it's more of an aged black rather than just a solid black. And I also picked up a Halloweeny one for the back of my Ouija board when I finally get it finished. And then they have also another craft shop there. I want to call it Crafter's Companion. And they had some fabric there. Now I've already shown this one in one of my finishes, and I had a lot of people comment on it. So it is created by Adidas Sitar of Laundry Basket Quilts for Andover Fabrics. and it's called Something of Roses. Let me see if I can hold that so you can actually see. And I've got a few other bits and pieces of fabrics. This one, which you'll see. Sorry, I've opened the window, it's a bit warm today. That one, which you'll see the rest of in a minute. But shall we get on to finishes? Shall we get on to finishes? I'm going to start off with 3 that are maybe just a little cheat of a finish, just because I've already shown them nearly finished before and I've got around to sewing them up. So this one is Farm Fresh by Hands On Design, and it was a freebie that I shared 3 or 4 videos ago maybe, and just a cute little one with some plaid backing. And this one, which was my July project for Cross Stitch Camp, which is by, on Etsy, no, I'm going to have to put the name across the bottom, can't get that one, which I really enjoyed doing. And then Barbara Anna Dreaming Gardens, which is there. And I just put on there a little key and a 2021 charm. Now I have to say I pinched that idea from an Instagram account called yasminsmadewithlove, and if you want to see some Barbara Anna stitching, that is where you need to go. She has got so many beautiful Barbara Annas, and I noticed that she'd been hanging some of these little keys, because Barbara Anna often puts keys on her stitches. And actually, now that I've finished it, I've noticed there should have been one under here as well, and I've got to put it on, so I'll put it there instead. So that was a little cheat. That was 3 that I had already shown you, but when I'd shown you they were only part finished. Let's have a look and see what else we've got. I'm going to start with this one. This is Eye of Newt by Satsuma Street, which is one of their perforated paper pieces. And I'd nearly finished stitching this last week, and I got it finished and then finished off. And all I do is back it with a little bit of velvet, and I use the self-adhesive velvet, which is, you can buy from Amazon. It's basically what jewellers and shop displayers would use to cover boxes, and it's very handy. You can get it in all sorts of colours, and it just helps neaten that back up, and it's super easy. Love that one. What else have I got? Oh, let's save those all till later. This little one, I'm going to separate the 2 for a minute. So this is Sheepish Pincushion by Nikki's Creations, finished onto a spool, and it's on 32 count vintage country mocha, and the pattern you can find in the 2019 edition of Just Cross Stitch Halloween, which I have said before has been on Readly. It's gone for some reason. Since I think they've uploaded the 2021 one, the 2019 one has disappeared. So I know that you can still get the download of it on Annie's catalogue. And then all I did was I made a little pumpkin to go on top, and I used a couple of, let's see if I can get that to focus, puntini pins, a couple of little gourd pins on the top there. Love it, absolutely love it. The spool finish is just so easy to do, so easy. What else have I got to show you? Now this is the last thing that I've previewed on my Instagram, and this is a design called Quaker Blackbird by Little by Little. It's not something that you see about very often. I got mine from eBay, I think. Beautiful Quaker design. and then I just finished it as a needle book. Now I've done it as a board needle book, so I'll try and show you how I constructed it in a minute. I've just got a little, let me pull it open there, two little loops of velvet ribbon there and 2 pieces of velvet ribbon on the other side. And then on the inside, all I've done is I've put, got my finger stuck in it, put some felt, just held on with a little vintage mother of pearl button. And I used that fabric that I showed you earlier, the one with the little bird on it. So what I did, and a couple of people have asked me about the construction of this. So what I did was I cut a piece of mount board to the size I wanted, and on the front, the bit that was going to be the front, I put just a little piece of wadding, so the front is a little bit wadded. And then I wrapped it around and glued it into place. And then I took another piece of mount board the same size, and I covered it in this fabric and stuck it down. And then what I did was the same on the back, but this time I used the fabric both sides, and this bit's got a bit of wadding on as well. And then basically you lay it down and put your binding through the middle between the 2 pieces, and then instead of gluing them together, which you can do, I like to sew mine together, just because I can never get the glue to stick right to the very edges. It always seems to want to come apart on the corners for me, so I put a little bit of glue between the 2 boards, enough to hold it in place, and then I whip stitch the 2 boards together, and then that's a little needle book. So yeah, I've made a soft needle book before, so I wanted to have a go at making a hard one. What else have I got? Okay, so I've got drums and stand-up. Let's do the stand-up next. So I've never made a stand-up before, and so I was pretty pleased with this one. This is Strawberry Time by Barbara Anna, and it was from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and again I'll have to have a look and see if I can find what edition it is. And so I made her into a stand-up. She's just got blue and white, it's not quite ticking fabric, it is a, it's not a cotton, no, it is a cotton, it's not a ticking as such, it's just a printed stripe, just like a plain blue bottom. And so I followed Vonna's instructions for making a stand-up, pretty much, although I did it a bit more like a drum, because I just finished 4 drums. So I love her. And she's stitched on a piece of silk weaver, I think it's called Summer Skies 28 count, and then I just finished it with a trim of like a mint green pom-pom, and I glued that one on. I normally stitch my trims on, but I glued this one on just because of the angle. I couldn't get the needle through quite where I wanted it to, and I'd already trashed my finger making drums. So there we go. Right, the drums. Let's go with the drums. I'm going to start off with the one I didn't stitch, but I did make the drum. So this is, it's a really tall, thin one actually. This is a piece of stitching that I bought because it came in an eBay lot with the pattern, and I wanted the pattern, and I didn't think I'd be able to finish the stitching because most people sew their crosses in the opposite direction to me. My top leg goes bottom left to top right. This person did the same thing. However, they didn't pay any attention to the called for colours, so there was just no way that I could have matched any of the colours. So all I did was I did a tiny bit of sewing on it to try and bring the 2 seams down to roughly the same length, because one was finished up here and one was much longer, so I unpicked a little bit and then restitched it down there to get them as close as I could. And then I decided I was going to turn it into a drum. So it's just some alphabets from the top of a sampler chart. And then in the top, I've put some of my handmade pins. And if you want to know how to make those, I've got a tutorial about how to make those. There we go. If you're interested about making the drum, I use the Pfeiffer's drum making method, and I use card bottom and top. There is a way of taking the card out to make the top more puffy and to make it into a proper pin cushion. But I knew I wanted to display these little pins on the top here, so all I did was, when I put my card in, I made a big enough hole in the middle so that the pins will go right the way down in the middle, but they won't anywhere else. They'll only go down in the middle where I want them. And it just means I can keep the card in place, because it just makes it a bit less fiddly, I think. So there is that one. I can't even tell you what the pattern's called. Without digging through all of my charts, I can't even tell you what it's called. But it's just the top of a sampler. And then I made this one as well. This is a Blackbird Designs. It's called Nebraska Prairie, and I think it's in the Winds of Autumn book. It's either in the Winds of Autumn book or it's in the Sewing Club book, but I think it's the Winds of Autumn book. And again, I did exactly the same thing. It's got a little bit of batik on the top and the bottom. I absolutely adore this batik. If I could find any more of this, I'd be so happy. And then again, I just made a couple of pins using some of the same colours that are in the stitch, and then put them in the top of the drum. So there's that one. And then, Christina, I finally finished it. So this is actually a freebie from Christina from Whilst Iris Naps, and it's called All Is Calm. And I finished it with some more puntini pins. It's got a sewn top to it. Finished it with some more puntini pins. And I think I just used the same on the bottom because I had a bit spare. And it should have another border on the bottom as well, but I didn't do it. It does have a repeat of the hollyberry border, but I didn't do it on the bottom. I just left it as the All Is Calm. And that's just stitched on a piece of, it is a piece of silk weaver, but I can't remember what colour it is. So it's just a pale blue. Gorgeous. Now, this is what I think is my finale piece. This is the biggest drum I've ever made. This is the mother of all drums. Now you might remember, ooh, excuse me reaching, ooh, that I finished not so long ago this piece, Quaker Samplings number 3. And I loved it. I really, really loved it. Apart from the wobble about what colour to do the bloody acorns, I really loved it. And I stitched it using sulky. And the sulky colour was, I'm pretty sure it was 1169. I was just looking to find the code because I thought I still had it there. But, drum roll please, quite literally, drum roll. There it is. I've just got a little velvet tomato sitting on the top of it. Let's leave it on there for a minute. I'll show you, let me show you around. So, there it is. Now, if I give you some dimensions on this beast, it is 7 inches across and it's probably about 7.5 inches high. So it is absolutely monster. So I stitched it as the chart calls for. I put my initials in the middle of that cartouche and then 2021 somewhere. Where are we? There it is, around there. 2021. And then I chose this fabric for the top and the bottom. Now the reason that I went for this one is I just always envisaged it as having a blue top in my head. I don't know quite why. And this red is actually a really hard red to match. It's almost like a brick red. My crikey, I don't know what that's going past. It's almost like a brick red, quite a browny red, so it's very hard to match. And so I just wanted, because the drum is so, well, it's a Quaker, isn't it? It's just so beautiful. I wanted to have just something a little bit different on the top and the bottom. I've not padded this top much at all, other than just one very thin layer of wadding, because I wanted it to be flat. Because what I want to do is finish a few more spools. Gosh, this is gonna balance, with red and white designs, and I want to be able to stand them on top. So yeah, I am super pleased with how it turned out. Now the construction of this dress, it's like holding up a big cheese, isn't it? Like a stilton. It is about the size of a stilton actually, full stilton. The construction of this, it was exactly the same as a drum that's like this. And so if you use Vonna's method, you will see how that's constructed. The only thing that I did differently was I didn't want to fill this whole thing with walnut shells and fibre fill, because it would have just taken so much. I mean, it's heavy enough as it is. So what I did to take up the majority of the space was I bought a polystyrene cake dummy. So I'd been racking my brains for a while thinking, what was I going to put in it? What was I going to... And then I suddenly hit on what I thought was a genius idea, was the polystyrene cake dummy. So I don't know if you've seen them before. You can buy rounds, polystyrene rounds or squares, whatever shape you want. And they are so that you can either ice them to practice your icing, or I think you can even use them as extra tiers in a cake. I'd be pretty disappointed though if I went to eat a cake and there's polystyrene in it, but I think you can use them for that as well. So yeah, inside here there is a 6x5 cake dummy, a circular cake dummy, which takes up most of the space, and then all I had to do was stuff down the sides of it and then on the top, and just try and make sure it was as smooth as I could make it. So, whoop, there is all my finishing. I'm going to try and get my screenshot as this. Let's give it a go. I bet you it won't be. I bet you it'll be something ridiculous. And there she is. Right, that is all she wrote for me for tonight. So I've got a 3.5-hour drive now back to the Cotswolds. And yeah, and then a week staying in the Cotswolds. I don't know how I'm going to go with the FlossTube next weekend, because obviously it's the Patchwork Rabbit open day. I'll try my best to get some footage of the shop, and if I'm allowed to, some other footage of folks that are there. They might not want to be on camera, but we'll see. I'll see what I can do, because I'd love to share the day with everybody who can't be there. And then we'll see. I might get it done when I get home from Chippenham or Bromham, but it might be done on Sunday morning instead, so it might be a Sunday afternoon briefing. We'll see what happens. We'll play it by ear. And that's all from me. Stay classy, Stitchers.